Any good news?
Yeah. This is... you. Awake.
Flatterer.
That's me.
Thank you for spending the night.
You think I'd really leave this house with you in the shape you were in?
Oh, please. Now I guess you can add claustrophobic to my list of less than endearing attributes.
Oh, yeah. You can see how filled with disgust I am. You know, I haven't seen you really smile in a very long time.
Oh, no. There hasn't been much to smile about.
No. Claustrophobia certainly isn't anything to smile about. That is hideous stuff. You ever thought of getting some therapy?
With all due respect to your mother, I think psychotherapy is a very valuable tool for a lot of people, but not for me.
Mm-hmm. Black, right?
Yes. You know, for somebody who believes that I intentionally withheld my own sister's medication and sent her in a downward spiral to mental illness, you're being very solicitous.
It's not much of a trick, considering that this someone also believes that you wouldn't have done half the things you did if you could have helped yourself.
Oh, that's right! Of course! I forgot. I am controlled by my deep, dark secrets from the past. Oh, please.
Dorian?
I'm so sorry. I should have remembered that. I've got to remember that all the evidence that you have gathered from your relentless probing into my past is the gospel truth.
I spoke with Kelly. She's very upset about her mother. She knows that she's taken this all out on you.
Really?
Yes. So now, let's just call a truce. Why don't you and I get out of here? Just the two of us.
What?
Yeah. Let's take this show on the road for a week or so. Let's just push the hold button on the past and the present and just take off. I promise. I won't ask any more probing questions except whether we'll have room service or whether we'll go out. What do you think?
Wow. I would love to fly off somewhere with you. But...
What?
Where?
Okay.
Hey. Is there trouble? I hope so for whoever is behind this.
The hold and kidnapping, huh?
Yeah.
Is that what you wanted to talk to me about?
There's been a couple of developments I'd like to share them with you, Hank.
And do these developments happen to involve my brother?
You didn't become the DA because you were slow.
RG is still a suspect?
Right at the top of the list. Hank, I'm only doing my job right now.
Okay, fine. Talk to me.
According to RJ's records, he had some phone calls from a man named Claude Charbonneau before the kidnapping.
And?
And Charbonneau is on parole right now for extortion. His record, it's, you know, it's longer than a night at the opera, Hank.
So probably RJ touches base with a lot of his old buddies from the past.
No. This was not a social call. Because he called Charbonneau again after the kidnapping. 2 calls.
Did you question the guy?
Yeah, I sure did. He says he was calling RJ and he was bugging him about wanting to borrow money to start a business. But when he'd call RJ from a phone booth, then RJ would call him back and go, oh, no, absolutely not. I'm not in that business anymore.
And did RJ corroborate that?
Looking me right square in the eye.
So, Bo, what is the problem?
It's just too neat. They're just too cool, too slick. Hank, it's like they're both telling me this nice, tidy little story, like they're reading it to me.
Maybe it's the gospel truth.
I'm not buying it. So I subpoenaed Claude's phone records, too. Benny and his team, they've been up all night checking them.
To find what exactly?
To find out who else Claude Charbonneau may have spoken to around the time of the kidnapping.
Yo, Chief.
Hey.
Hey, Hank.
Benny.
What you got?
Stiff neck from sitting behind my desk 18 hours straight.
There's something you'll like. A whole lot.
Wow. Look how big the castle's getting. Oh, look at that. You're working hard, aren't you, huh? Oh, so am I. With your daddy. Only nothing stacks up with him. At least not when I'm the one trying to do the building. We had another big fight the other night. And he's barely looked at me since. Oh, Star, I'm getting so tired of that. But I can't give up just yet. Do you know why? Because you're here, Esther. And you do like building things with me, don't you, huh? Do you? Yeah. Oh, look, it's time for your walk with Judith. So tell you what, let's pick up these blocks, okay? And we can build a whole new castle later. Okay, so it's time to go. Oh! It's okay, Star. It's okay, sweetie. Oh, God, she's gonna need... Send me a coat. Okay, we're gonna go for a little ride, okay, sweet? Call the crowd and get the car, okay? And then, get a postcard at the Sun and give me my coat. Just throw my coat over me. Open the door, too, okay?
I love good news with my coffee. Go.
Yeah, first off, we heard from the medical examiner. He made a positive ID of the body we found strapped in the kidnapper's car.
Who was he?
Mark Lennon, a real lone wolf type, but sharp. He was no amateur either. He was extradited to Canada in '94, and guess what? Kidnapping charges, only he walked on a technicality.
Yeah, there's a lot of that going around.
Is that it?
Nah, save the best for last. Claude Charbonneau's phone records list 4 calls to Mark Lennon in the 48 hours leading up to the kidnappings. And get this, a collect cell phone call from Lennon the night those kids were snatched.
We got him.
RJ?
No.
Hank, we've already proved a connection between RJ and Charbonneau during that period of time.
And as prosecutor, I'm here to tell you that in no way constitutes a link between RJ and Lennon.
What is this, another one of those little technicality things, huh?
It's the law, Bo.
I'm a little bit familiar with the law myself. I know you're right. I know that we can't prove a connection yet, but we will prove it. I know it's out there, Hank.
Okay, here we go again. It's one of those it's gotta be RJ things.
This doesn't sound like RJ to you?
I don't care what it sounds like. I don't care what it looks like. But you were 100% certain that RJ killed Carlo Elser. So only how bogus was that little certainty?
I'm not going to make that mistake again. I'm not going to make an arrest until I can make it stick, and I will make it stick. Right now, I want Claude Charbonneau back in here.
I figure you would. The unit's picking him up right now.
That's good. Now we're finally getting somewhere.
Well, I want to know how far you go, or how far you think you can go.
You can go as far as you want, anywhere you want. Paris, Rio, Istanbul, Kathmandu.
Ooh. Well, Paris, I really do prefer in the spring,
right.
which is, you know, almost the song. Istanbul, I don't know, the wind across
Creaky?
the Bosphorus, and Rio could be a little frenetic.
Mm-hmm.
Kathmandu, exhilarating, but somehow exhausting.
Exhilarating, but somehow exhausting. That's an interesting combination.
Oh, wait. Rome.
Oh, it has been ages since I've seen the orange dawn rise over the Palatine. Rome, Roma, please.
All right, you throw in 3 days in Venice. San Marco shrouded in sea fog. Twisted little alleys right out of a medieval dream. You got yourself a deal.
You're wonderful.
But
swear to me that this is really going to be just a vacation.
All right. I promise. No mention of family or secrets or darkness. Just you and me. Creating a glistening set of days.
Well, isn't this a nice picture? I have got the best news, Blair. Well, can it wait? Because I have some very important business that I need to take care of. I'll see you later. She's awfully cryptic and in a big hurry.
Well, as a matter of fact, I should be on my way myself. I've got an important meeting I don't want to be late for, so... This is for you.
Albergo Splendore.
Oh, yes. That's my favorite place in Rome.
Oh.
It's just a stone's throw from the Spanish Steps. And some of the rooms have balconies that overlook Via Veneto and the Tiber and St. Peter's beyond that. So, if you don't mind, give them a call and ask for Nico and tell him that Signore Hayes wants his usual room.
Anything else, Signore?
Yes, tell him we'll be there in the morning. And can you handle the plane flights? Because besides packing, I've got to go clear this time with Vicky.
Oh, so we might not be going after all.
No, we will definitely be going after all because I have some columns in the bank and I will file a few more from overseas.
I love that I'm flying off with you on a whim to Italy. Kelly.
You don't have to look at me that way. I just wanted to tell you that I don't want to fight with you anymore, and I don't want to accuse you of anything anymore. I just came by to pick up some more of my stuff.
Listen, I'm on my way myself. I'll drop you off where you need to get dropped off. Okay?
Goodbye.
Ciao, Bella.
Ciao.
Bye, Kelly. A lot of people seem to be leaving home.
Thanks for meeting us here. You want some coffee? Be ready in a sec.
So that's how you do it. You get together, have coffee, and figure out how to way of driving Dorian crazy?
No, mostly we get together and worry about her. Hello, Mel?
Yeah.
Kelly?
Well, your partners here have accused Dorian to her face withholding medication to Melinda. That shows just a hell of a lot of concern.
More than you know.
Oh, so that's it. You brought me here so you can fill me in on everything. It's okay. Pour the coffee. Let's do a little chatting.
All right. Melinda came to Landview for 2 reasons.
I got it.
All right, fine. 1, she wanted to reconnect with Kelly, and 2, she wanted to reconstruct her childhood.
She had a lot of questions about what really happened back then. Oh, like the 3 of you do.
Look, I did not want a part of this from the very beginning. I was angry at Mel, and I was angry at Kathy for upsetting Dorian. But now...
Oh, but you just wanted to be in the in crowd, didn't you, Kelly?
Okay, Blair, if you want to listen to what we've learned, that's fine. If not, you're free to leave. All right. So, here's Melinda firing questions right and left at Dorian about their childhood in Ohio and freely sharing with her what she did remember about it.
Like this weird game that my Aunt Dorian would play with my mother. She would pretend to hurt my mother and then let herself be punished for it.
Right. And we know that Dorian wasn't thrilled with Melinda's zeal, having created the past as a sacrosanct entity no one should enter. Meanwhile, however, Melinda, after years of slow and steady progress, begins to regress emotionally, claiming that her medication wasn't working.
She doesn't understand why.
And I wondered about it myself.
So you cooked up this ridiculous explanation that Dorian had put sugar into Melinda's medication, right?
It's been confirmed.
What?
That night, after Melinda threw her pills across the room, I pocketed one and I showed it to my mother. She is, after all, a trained physician and very familiar with psychoactive drugs. Mayer knew what it was right off the top. And when she opened the capsule to check the contents, it was, in fact, sugar.
But by that time, Melinda was already so far gone, she was back in the hospital in California.
Where her physician ran some blood tests on her and discovered that Melinda hadn't had her medication in at least 10 days.
Even though my mother took her pills on schedule every day, where Dorian was there to see to it.
So, the next logical question is, how did it happen? I mean, Melinda would never have compromised her own medication. Kelly wouldn't have. I'm presuming you wouldn't have. That leaves Dorian.
Well, why would she do it?
Well, as Mel said, my mother refuses to even acknowledge the past, let alone look at it.
But my mother wanted to. If she wasn't stopped, maybe she would have worked out the crazy details, like the game or Miss Stonecliffe or what happened to her mother and father.
Well, what did happen to our grandparents?
Not what we've been led to believe.
Well, when you said you might want to see me again, I didn't think you meant 12 hours later.
Have a seat.
Have a seat. My name should be stenciled on this chair as often as you guys drag me down here. It's ridiculous.
Let's sit down.
You know, I tell you to shove it. But I know you make noise with my parole officer. And he's worse to deal with than you are.
You gotta be a hell of a swimmer, Claude. If that was you in the car with Mark Lennon and Max Holden's 2 kids when it went into that river, because you made it to shore. Plus you had another guy riding shotgun there. Did he just wash on downstream?
What is this?
Since the commissioner.
Oh, who's Mark Lennon?
Answer the commissioner.
Answer me first.
Mark Lennon is a dead man. But when he was alive, you called him 4 times from your home, 2 days before the kidnapping. And then the night of the kidnapping, he called you collect. That's who Mark Lennon is. Or maybe I should say was. Because we found his body in the river, buckled into the driver's seat of the kidnapper's car.
So
just tell me how it went down, Claude. Huh? Were you a hands-on member of this team, or did you hire some other little slime ball like Mark Lennon to carry off RJ's little plan?
if Mark was still strapped in that car, I would tell you to swim out there and ask him yourself. Because I'm not going to say another word without an attorney present, Commissioner.
Better you park him by a phone. You get his attorney on it, okay? And then you get him back in here. We'll do it. In the meantime, I want to see R.J. Gannon in this office ASAP.
What's going on?
It's okay. Everything is under control.
Oh, yeah, everything's under control. I just got called to the
Star's gonna
emergency
be fine,
room. Where is
Todd.
she?
No, it's...
Is there a doctor here?
Todd, Star's right in there. I was with her up until 2 minutes ago when they were finishing up the stitches.
Stitches.
Yes, Star fell and hit her head on the edge of the coffee table.
That's it. Judith is gone. She's gone.
Judith was in the kitchen. Star was with me.
You. And what were you doing when my daughter was lying in a pool of her own blood? Huh? Were you making up more verses for the Todd the Loser song? Were you on the phone trying to drum up another client or two? Or maybe you helped Star along with her little tumble?
How dare you?
Well, we've been hating each other a lot lately. Maybe this is your way of hitting me where it hurts.
This is too sick to believe.
No, what's sick is that you would call yourself a mother. Because you don't care about it. All you care about is your life. If you cared about my kid at all, my kid wouldn't have wound up in this hospital.
Why don't you be quiet? Because you are totally wrong.
Since when is it medical procedure for you to stick your nose in other people's business?
This is his business. This is Dr. Thebes. He treated Star.
How is she?
The cut's been sutured. The x-rays were negative. Your daughter's going to be fine, thanks to Mrs. Manning.
Yeah, sure.
This was an accident. I've seen thousands just like it. Toddlers fall. It's as simple as that. But the situation could have been a lot worse if it hadn't been for your wife's quick thinking.
Why? What'd she do?
Well, she put ice on the wound immediately. She kept Star warm. And she brought her here faster than any ambulance would have been able to.
Well, when can we take Star home?
In about 3 minutes. Think you can behave yourself that long?
maybe I ought to get myself checked out, you know? I mean, every time I go into this building, I just go bonkers. It's like I got some kind of a Ben chromosome. All right, look, not that it makes any difference, but I'm sorry that you didn't understand what I was trying to say.
It doesn't make any difference.
Wait, hold on. Hold on.
What? Over the last 48 hours, you have been unbelievably obnoxious, even by your standards. But for you to even think that I could have abused that little girl, much less flatly accuse me of it, that is more than anyone should have to swallow. So you take your festering paranoia somewhere else. I am through being your dumping ground.
Wait, now, hold on now. Look, we can't leave yet, all right? Because Shorty's not ready yet.
Well, another day, another interview. You know, you're getting predictable. Well, maybe I can add something new to this one. Does the name Mark Lennon mean anything to you, RJ?
Well, since I'm in the music business, and you know that, he must be a musician. Mark Lennon. Never heard of him. What's he play?
Don't start. He's just like you. He's slick. He's got a rap sheet a mile long.
Oh, then he must not be that slick.
But there's one thing in particular, though, that came right off that page at me. A charge of kidnapping in Canada. And he was extradited. He stood trial. Wasn't convicted, though. Technicality. And this is what I find really peculiar. About the time that Max Holden's kids were kidnapped, about the same time that you're having all your phone conversations with Claude Charbonneau, Charbonneau is having phone conversations with Lennon.
Oh, let me complete your thought. So you must assume that this Mark, whatever his name is, had something to do with the kidnapping, yes?
We found Lennon's body in the kidnapper's car in the river.
So I guess I won't be booking him at Indigo.
Why would you even try? He's already working for you. RJ, you hired Charbonneau. He farmed the job out to Lennon. You thought you could keep your hands clean, didn't you? Wrong! I got you this time.
No, all you got is me sitting in your office, and in about 2 seconds, you won't even have that.
No, I just feel like you three are turning everything about us into one big lie.
Claire, we can back it up. When Kelly and Ian flew Melinda back to the hospital in California, Mel and I went to Canton and paid a little visit to Miss Stonecliffe.
Does Dorian know anything about this?
No.
I think you're all just appalling.
Well, if you listen,
why don't you just shut up, you little
All right, just calm down, you two. Calm down.
I don't want that.
I'm fine. Miss Stonecliffe.
She's alive and well. And as devoted to our grandmother's memory as she was to the woman herself. Her eyes practically glowed when she talked about how gifted and beautiful Sonia was, how she was such a great artist and full of passion, and how some of that fire found its way into her 3 children, making them so competitive they were nearly impossible to deal with.
Did she say anything about my mother?
Yes, she did. She said Addie tortured my mother. And she mentioned the famous scissor attack.
Yes, and then Addie locked her, Dorian, into a well house for 18 hours. Now, anybody who's been enclosed in a dark space for that long would have claustrophobia for life. You saw it played out again last night.
And from there on, the tale that Miss Stonecliffe told was about one disaster after another. Addie had a breakdown, was put into the hospital. Melinda and Dorian were told that she had died. But that didn't calm things down at all. My mother became apparently very jealous of Melinda. Because of Melinda's musical talents, she became Sonia's favorite, so my mother made Melinda's life hell.
And that's when the game started.
Though my mother remembered it differently than Miss Stonecliffe. And then there was the riding accident. To Miss Stonecliffe, it wasn't just the end of Melinda's musical career. It destroyed the entire family. Sonia was so upset that Lou took them both away for a couple of days, and on the way back, they were killed in the plane crash.
Oh, we know all of this. You're just adding details to things I already know.
All right, just a minute.
What?
Miss Stonecliffe said that she claimed the bodies herself in Bracken County, Kentucky, to bring them home to the farm for burial there.
We saw the graves.
Right. But it didn't quite feel right. I mean, somehow the story just seemed too presented, so we did some checking up. It turns out that there are no death certificates on file in Bracken County, Kentucky for Lou and Sonia Kramer, deceased August 27, 1960.
Except that the undertaker in Canton had copies of Bracken County death certificates for both of them.
So, when I went to Kentucky, with the copies the undertaker had, to match them up against the original death certificates, lo and behold, the originals were for two completely different people.
And you just expect me to believe all of this?
No, not necessarily. That's where these come in handy. You see? Same numbers.
Where?
Same numbers. Right here. Different names.
So obviously, Blair, someone used the originals and made copies to forge death certificates for our grandparents.
And the clincher is this. There's no record anywhere of a plane going down in that area of Kentucky on that date.
I don't understand.
It means that somebody went to a lot of trouble to cover up where, how, and even maybe when Lou and Sonia died. I mean, we went to Miss Stonecliff to get some answers, and all we came back with was questions. And the biggest question of all is this the secret, or part of the secret, that Dorian's been carrying around with her most of her life?
Could you please talk to your mother?
No.
She might
No
be
way.
able to help us.
How could she help? She was in an asylum when her parents died, Cassie.
Assuming that date's accurate, Blair.
Look, she can't handle it, all right? You have already proven that.
Well, it may be different this time because you're her daughter.
That's even more reason I'm not going to do it.
No. Just give it some thought, all right? You have some time. I'm taking Dorian to Italy for a week or so.
Oh, that's great. What are you going to do, lock her up in her hotel room, badger her until she's totally insane?
No. You were right when you said last night that Dorian's close to the edge. My intention from the very beginning was to pull Dorian back from the darkness, not to push her further into it. This trip is strictly R&R.
Blair, please. There's something else we need to ask you. Please, do not mention any of this to my mother. At least not until she gets back from her trip.
So the three of you want me to join you in this conspiracy, is that it?
You're willing to protect Addie out of love? This is no different. You imagine what kind of damage this could do to Dorian if she finds out this information when she's not prepared to hear it.
Fine.
Thank you. And I think when all this clicks in, you'll see how disturbing it is. You'll understand why we're so committed to finding out the truth about your family.
Oh, you whatever.
Meanwhile, I have to pack, which isn't a big deal. I have to clear the time off with Vicky, which is a big deal.
Blair, when are you going on this trip?
As soon as I can swing by and pick her up.
That soon? Well, we should go by and say goodbye to her.
Yeah.
Oh, you're just so considerate. Oh, but cut it out. Blair, come on. Just come on.
Unbelievable.
Just go easy on Blair. She's not stupid. All this will click in for her eventually.
Yeah. If she doesn't go blab everything down Dorian the minute she sees it.
Take a good look at this face, RJ. You'll be seeing a whole lot more of it.
I don't think so.
Your friend is losing. The next time he comes waving some bogus charges in my face, I'm gonna slap him with a harassment too so heavy, he'll need a blocking tackle to lift his sorry butt. I got you, RJ. I'm gonna nail him, Hank. I swear to God, I'm gonna nail him. Really? By questioning a suspect without having a chief detective on hand? Huh? And screaming at him so loud that everybody in the building can hear? You are gonna lose this case on botched procedure alone. Not that you even have a case.
I got a case.
You are taking this too personally.
I got a case.
I will tell you what you got. You got a handful of phone calls. The body of a wise guy who Max claims told him that he had the kid. And that's kind of shaky because Max got whacked upside his big old head, and an attorney, he'll rip his testimony to shreds.
I don't care. I know RJ did this.
Really? With no forensics from Max's house, no second kidnapper, no money trail, no bodies, and I'm supposed to just mosey into the courtroom based on your gut feelings, which nobody else shares, by the way.
We'll get more.
I think you are losing your perspective, brother.
One of us sure is.
Star looks pretty good for a kid who got bit in the head by a coffee table. I'm gonna have to rename her, though. I'm gonna start calling her Scar. All right, look, we went over this, and I was way out of line. What do you want me to do, write it 1,000 times on a blackboard?
Don't bother.
Well, Star, you know, it's like she hadn't seen you in a month or so, the way she kept grabbing for you in the car and grinning and all that junk.
Star loves me. That's the problem, or part of it anyway.
Oh, you want to run that by me again?
You know, I never know which Todd is going to show up. The bashful one, full of corny jokes and good intentions, or the one who's around most of the time. Listen, I cannot read you at all. So I never know what I'm going to get from you next. I feel like I'm holding my breath and living with a complete stranger.
A stranger who's made it worth your while.
Oh, yes, of course. Our sacred deal. The one that strictly defines what I am to you. Lawyer and stopgap mom. Nothing more or less.
You're the one who said yes to this whole thing.
But Star didn't. All she knows is that I'm here, and she likes it. Which is where the problem comes in. Because the longer I stay, the more attached to me she will get. Only, I'm not permanent. In fact, some days I feel like I've already left, or like I was never here in the first place. And sooner or later, that is going to hurt Star. We've made a real mess out of this, Todd.
Well, you know me, I like a good mess.
Well, I'm not you. And I think there's only one thing we can do to clean it up.
2020 Friday.
You're going to Venice and Rome with Dorian?
She needs a break, badly.
Well, I would have to agree if the state she was in last night is any indication of her general frame of mind. It's your timing that's thrown me for a loop.
Don't worry, I won't desert you. I've got 3 columns in the bank, and I'll file a few more from Italy.
Is it really that serious?
What you saw last night was just the tip of the iceberg. Dorian became paralyzed with claustrophobia by the end of the evening.
Wow. Are you sure you're up to making this trip?
I could use a breather myself. They say the lungs breathe better when you're further away from home.
Oh, I sense the birth of column. Well, arrivederci.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you.
Before you go, how is Cassie doing in all of this?
Well, she's actually trying to convince Blair to broach the family history with Addie.
Oh, that'll be interesting.
Yeah, it's all interesting. When I saw, first, that haunted look in Dorian's eyes, and when I saw it again last night, it convinced me all over again that Cassie and I are doing the right thing, and that eventually we'll release her from that anguish.
As I said before, she's lucky to have you.
I'm not doing anything for her. A dozen people wouldn't line up to do for you, with Clint in the lead, all right?
I know.
Except I don't think you'd want to be in Dorian's shoes.
Oh, no, indeed. I do not. And believe me, she has my sympathy.
I'm giving you back your toys and going home. Wherever that is.
You know, Delgado, I think you're making a big deal out of nothing now.
Listen, I've hit the wall, Todd. But in the long run, this is what's best for Star, too.
I think we're just going through a phase, you know? We've both been on edge. It's temperamental.
That's not a phase with you, Todd. That's it.
We had a fight. What's the big deal? It's like a kid taking a header. I mean, these things happen.
But kids get up, wipe away their tears, and move on to the next thing.
So what are you telling me? You're just going to walk away from an extra $1 million, cash in your chips, and walk away?
Right now.
Well, you can't do that.
Try to come up with one legitimate reason why not.
Well, as soon as you walk out that door, Blair will scramble up her lawyers and try and make another grab at Star. And you know they'll get away with it this time without a mother in this house.
You've been awarded full custody of Star. That's a lot harder to challenge than the temporary variety.
Okay. Well, you know, Bird has gotten very attached to you. You know, you go, he'll probably have some kind of hysterical molt. There'll be moose feathers all over the place. All right, look, you can't go.
Is that your way of saying you'd like me to stay? Because if it is, and that's what you want, you're going to have to do a lot better. As a husband and as a friend. It's up to you, Todd. Human up, or I'm gone. It's your call.
I think it's all wrong. Blair, it's a lousy situation for all of us, but we're trying to do what's best for Mother.
That's your definition.
You said you wouldn't say anything.
I know what I said, Kelly, all right? Now, as far as my mother is concerned, she has enough emotional problems. She does not need to deal with your stupid obsessions, Cassie.
Fine.
Pronto! Pronto? Do you know that's what they say when they answer the telephone in Italy? Pronto! I love the sound of it. Kelly, have you picked up all of your things?
Actually, I stopped by to wish you a happy, safe trip.
Thank you.
Well, Mel told us about your plans. It couldn't have come at a better time.
No, it couldn't have. I have managed, by dint of a combination of doggedness, charm, and unmitigated chutzpah, to put together the most amazing itinerary for us. It's going to be Mel and Dorian at the Albergo Splendore in Rome. That's Mel's choice. And then the Gritti Palace in Venice. That's my choice. And I've made reservations at all my favorite restaurants.
Ah, that sounds terrific.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
It does.
Except for the poor schnook who's going to have to help me carry 4 suitcases all over Italy. I overpacked. What else is new?
Wait. Laughter in this house? Do I have the right address or don't I?
Travel brings out the best in me.
Ah, that's a relief. Well then, let's travel.
Let's. But first, girls, Mel and I will be coming back at Christmas, and that made me think about the spirit of Christmas. And I wanted to ask all of you to please look inward and find that spirit in yourselves. And please find a way to work out your differences. But now when I see all of you here together, laughing, it makes me feel like I've gotten an early present. It's wonderful that something has brought you all together.
We're off.
Yes. Yes, we are. Ciao!
Ciao.
Andiamo!
Dorian, wait.
Stay tuned for scenes from the next One Life to Live.